until about 15 years ago, I didn't even know what I'm telling you now. One day I said, I want to know who I wanted first to know who my grandfather was. So I looked him up, and then I found out that my great-grandfather was Colonel William Smith Davis, who fought in the Civil War, of course, on the side of the South. Colonel William Smith Davis lived on the border of North Carolina and Virginia. And in fact, back in the early 1960s, we went to that spot and we visited our relatives there who were still living in the same town and area and on the same farms and plantations that they had lived for years and years and years. So I was very excited to actually find this person right here. My great-grandfather, William Smith Davis, who was born 9 January 1840. We have visited his cemetery there. He's got a tremendous tall tombstone or obelisk or whatever they're called. In fact, there's part of the inscription on it. He signed up for the Civil War as a 21-year-old. He became a colonel, minor hero at Gettysburg, fought in many different battles, had his arm amputated. Here is his tombstone. And so I was very excited to find out who my great-grandfather was. And the website that I found all this information on, the Davis family website. I'm not sure it's still up anymore, but it got me to thinking about this. And I started doing research for this and writing a book called Earth to Outer Space, where the main character discovered that he had important ancestry. Anyway, after I found out who my great-grandfather was, I kept going back and back. His father, Joshua Davis II, Joshua Davis II, and Joshua Davis II married Matilda Spotswood. She was born in 1808. Her mother, Panthea Burwell, was born in 1781. Her mother was Anne Spotswood, born in 1750. And Anne Spotswood married Colonel Lewis Burwell, Anne Spotswood being the granddaughter of Alexander Spotswood. Her father was John Spotswood, who was born in 1726. Alexander Spotswood then was born in 1676. Now, why is it cool that I'm related to Alexander Spotswood? It is very cool if you are a direct descendant of Alexander Spotswood, because Spotswood's ancestry goes back to Robert the Bruce in Scotland, step by step, all the way back to Robert Bruce. He knew it, and everybody today knows it. And I'll show you a website in a second. But what was interesting when I was reading about Robert the Bruce, he knew his own ancestry way back to the year about 876. So if you happen to be an ancestor of Alexander Spotswood, you can pretty much specify step by step who your forebears were all the way back to the 800s. And I think that's amazing for somebody who's done very little research. I have studied a little bit reading up about this, but I am not somebody who goes poking around in dusty records. This has all been right here on the internet. So I think it's being cool. It's pretty cool to be related to somebody like this. And let's go see Spotswood now. If you are a relative of Spotswood, if you're a descendant of Spotswood, this is what it says. Spotswood is named in Richardson's Royal Ancestry, Volume 5, pages 1 through 5. Spotswood, as an immigrant to America and descendant of Robert the Bruce, who descends from all these people. Alexander Spotswood was royal governor of Virginia, and he is a very cool person in his own right. Got shot in the chest with a cannonball, but survived and retired apparently to Virginia, of all places, and created a huge plantation. He was royal governor and did lots of famous things, including was the man behind the, well, I hate to say it, but he's the person who was in charge of having Blackbeard the pirate eliminated in a very historical fashion. Let's see what it says here. Alexander Spotswood, the son and heir of Robert Spotswood and his wife Catherine, was born in Tangier, wounded at this famous battle. Brushed by a cannonball, suffered a broken rib, collarbone, and shoulder bone. Horse shot out from under him. Taken prisoner, the Duke of Marlborough personally negotiated for his release.